Hi, let's see how we can send our sequence that we're editing in Final Cut to Motion software in order to be able to create a professional looking text. In order to send our sequence or part of the sequence to Motion, we need to select the clips that we want to send. Here in Final Cut, in my timeline, I have a still image clip with certain motion effects applied to it, and I want to send it to Motion to add text. What I need to do is to select it and to press Ctrl-click to open an emerging menu, and from this menu I need to go to the option Send to Motion Project. Here I will need to select the location where I want the Motion project to be saved, and I advise it to save it in the same location where you keep all the other media with which you work in this project. So I have here the separate media folder, and I advise you to give the name to the Motion project that will be different from the name of your sequence, which is displayed here by default. You will see later why. So far, let's change the name, and I will call it Mary Magnum Text. Now, make sure that you have these two options checked. Launch Motion will ensure that when you press Save, Motion software will be opened automatically with your project, and embed motion content will ensure that all changes that we will apply to our sequence in Motion will be reflected directly in Final Cut. So now let's press Save, and look what is happening here. Motion software is being opened. We can see here my sequence with my own motion effects. In order to see the timeline, we need to go to Window and check the timeline. So here the timeline appears, and in the timeline, if I open this group, I see the track with my still image, and I even can see the keyframes that have been exported directly from the Final Cut. We will talk about the keyframes in Motion later. Right now, what we're interested in is what happened in Final Cut. So let's go back to Final Cut, and I want you to pay attention to the fact that my still image clip has been replaced with the clip that is linked to the Motion project that we have created. And here in the browser, another sequence has been created that has the same name as our Motion project, but if we open it, here we will see our original edit. So what we can do in order to ensure that we can continue editing our sequence after we have added the text in Motion, we can drag the original sequence into the timeline. I will cut this end where it doesn't contain any images. Now let's see. If I add now text in Motion and I save my project, look what is happening here in Final Cut. Just give it a little bit of time. The text has been added in Final Cut automatically too. But so far this is because the clip that we actually see in Canvas corresponds to the project in Motion. If we reduce the transparency of this clip, we won't see anything. What we want to achieve is to create only the text in Motion, but to keep our original sequence in Final Cut. We can do it in the following way. If we go back to Motion, here when I created the text in Motion, a new track has been added. This is the text track, and this is my image track. So what I can do is uncheck the image track in Motion and save the project. Now let's see what happens in Final Cut. I see the same picture. I see the text and my original sequence. However, now if I lower transparency of the upper clip that corresponds to the Motion project, my original image stays in Canvas. So like this, I may edit the text in Motion, but conserve my original sequence in Final Cut, and I may continue editing it if necessary afterwards.